Today the Church celebrates the birth of John the Baptist. This feast, together with that celebrating the visitation of Mary to John's mother Elizabeth next week, marks the turn of the year and the beginning of the shortening of the days. Back to school advertisements will soon start appearing in shop windows and online, of course with added poignancy this year. John's feast is set here for a reason. We are past the longest day. Until the winter solstice, which marks the coming of Christ, the length of each day will steadily decrease. In the fourth Gospel, John said of Jesus, "I am not the Messiah, but I have been sent ahead of him. He who has the bride is the bridegroom. The friend of the bridegroom, who stands and hears him, rejoices greatly at the bridegroom's voice. For this reason, my joy has been fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease." I have to confess that John the Baptist is not a favourite of mine. Jesus said there was none greater born of women, but I find it hard to warm to him with his weird lifestyle and fire and brimstone preaching. On top of that, when I was studying for a degree in Christianity and the arts a couple of years ago, I had to sit through 10 two-hour seminars on his significance in the art of Renaissance Florence. It wasn't really my thing. But through it, I discovered that, along with everybody else in the beautiful frescoes and altarpieces of this period, John never smiles. His sad countenance is combined with looking away from Jesus, while at the same time pointing to him. John looks away in sorrow because, with prophetic insight, he sees beyond the human living Jesus to his future death. Behold the Lamb of God. And John points in order to draw our attention away from himself and towards Jesus. He must increase, but I must decrease. A few weeks ago, in a staff discussion at the college where I work, we were looking at the way Jesus was able to draw the crowds with his authoritative and charismatic teaching. One of my colleagues asked how we could model our own teaching and preaching on his. I found myself responding, "Oh, in my preaching, I just aim to point to Jesus and make space for him to speak, like John the Baptist with his pointing." "What pointing?" they all asked, and the poor things were then treated to a lecture from me on high Renaissance art. But that made me think. Firstly, that I had actually learnt something from sitting for hours on end in a seminar room in the National Gallery. And more importantly, that John had a point with his pointing. This is what the Christian life is all about. Seeing who Jesus really is, inviting him to be part of our life, every day increasing as our old selves decrease and metamorph into a new creation. Clearing a space for Jesus in the world, preparing his way and making his path straight. And through our lives and words, pointing beyond ourselves to him.